Showtime. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Just a Guy on my lunch break. Doing my video a little differently today, as you can tell. I'll get into it. But actually, I'm not on my lunch break. I guess it's still okay for me to do a video, right? I can be just a guy on my lunch break and still do a video when I'm not actually on my lunch break, all right? Been out of work a couple of days, been a little sick. Had to go to the doctor yesterday. I'll tell you guys about that. But I'm actually shooting the video from my home today in Forest Oaks, Greensboro, North Carolina. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that's courtesy of my wife. That's why you see all the deer feeding videos and the squirrels eating out of our hands. It's truly a wildlife habitat around here. So I'm gonna give you a little tour of the house. I wish I could bring all of my subscribers to my house. I really do. A little swing there. Don't judge me, I need to clean it off. We rarely use it in the winter. This is one of the reasons I love my property so much. As you can see, I have a lower deck right here with a hot tub on it. That's right, baby. You look over here, nothing but woods. There's actually a dry creek bed over here on this empty wooded lot right here, which makes it very difficult. There'll be a lot of backfill and an overabundance of prep that would be required to actually build something on that land. So somebody does own the land, but it's very unlikely that anyone will ever build on it, which is one of the things that attracted us to this home. You know, much more privacy. So hot tub, lower deck, places for people to sit. We have an upper deck. Okay. One of my favorite parts about this property. Oh, speaking of deer, there went two right there. Don't know if you saw them. We have a bamboo garden right here. Oftentimes those deer will raise their young and bed down their young over here in this bamboo garden. You know, it's a better protection for them. Unfortunately, they've knocked my lake sign over again. Damn, they're bad about doing that. Ah! Very hard to do with one hand, by the way. Okay, it's up for now. Anyway, fire pit, which we haven't used in a while, but it's here nonetheless. And as you can see, look at the privacy of my lot. Really the only houses you can see are across the lake, right here. Picnic table. I actually made this picnic table as well as the benches. I do a little woodworking. That's made of a pallet. That top part is actually a pallet that I picked up by a dumpster. Took some 4x4s, threw some legs on it, made a few benches, or a couple of benches to match it. And then my wife painted that on there. That's the Austin residence, guys. Now I'm gonna go up here on my deck. I'm gonna set my phone down, do a quick video with you guys. Well, quick being the operative word. You guys know I struggle with quick, don't you? We'll look from up here. let me make sure that this is facing in a way where you guys can see me, right? That'll do just fine. Anyway, welcome back to the show, guys. Appreciate you joining me once again. Let me straighten that out a little bit. I don't like it when it does that. I don't like the leaning that's going on right there. Why is it leaning? Don't lean. No leaning. I don't like the leaning. It's gonna lean, guys. This is a method I don't usually use. I have like a phone stand that I got off of Amazon for probably 10 bucks. Probably not the highest quality work of art there, but anyway, so the last couple of days I've been off of work. I know I shared with you guys on my video recently how I was having trouble with, you know, sore throat, like a nagging one that just wouldn't go away, and it just kept getting worse and worse. Well, finally that kind of came to a head this past weekend. And I got to a point on Sunday evening and Sunday night where I was just like, oh God, like I dreaded every swallow, right? It was just really bad. And, you know, finally as well, I had my wife look in my throat. My wife has some medical training. She did spend, although she doesn't have a nursing degree, she spent 3 years in nursing school at Liberty. That's what she thought she would do originally. She ended up going to something else and dropping out of nursing school and stuff like that. But nonetheless, she still has a fair amount of medical training. So she looked at my throat and was like, oh, I see why you're uncomfortable. You know, and my right tonsil was just severely inflamed. And it became immediately obvious why I was having trouble with, you know, eating and swallowing and just being in the type of pain that I was. So hit up my boss Sunday night. It's like, look, you know, and I had actually told my boss earlier in the week. I had actually, you know, told him there's a couple of mandatory meetings that we have throughout the week, and I'd actually told him, hey, I'm gonna skip the meeting. I got something going on with my throat. I don't know if I'm sick. You know, I don't want to spread it to everyone else because it's kind of a close quarters meeting in his office. So I had already told my boss that I had something kind of going on. So he you know, kind of knew what was up, but I told him, hey, you know, this sore throat that I told you about is just not going away. I'm going to take off tomorrow. I'm going to go to the doctor, you know, get it looked at to make sure I get ahead of this thing because it's just not getting any better. He gave him the thumbs up, said that's fine. So did that yesterday on Monday. I spent about 3 hours in an urgent care, which is kind of close to where I live here. Unfortunately, it was kind of a long, miserable wait, if I'm being honest. But anyway, got in there. The first thing they did was a strep test on me. The strep test actually came back negative. She said that could be because, you know, because like I said, my throat had been hurting for probably 7 days, 8 days. She said it could be that it was strep, but that it's not detecting it at this point because my body's kind of gotten rid of the streptococcus virus, but it's still, you know, lingering around in terms of the tonsils and the inflammation and stuff like that. Either way, she said it looked like the beginnings of like a peritonsillar abscess, you know, because I definitely had some swelling going on there. You could see like white splotches and stuff on my tonsil, so it was just no fun at all. So what they did was they gave me some an antibiotic. They gave me prednisone, which is a steroid, and then they gave me some lidocaine type stuff so I can, you know, numb it if I choose to. Which that stuff's kind of trash, to be honest with you. I barely use that. Ironically enough, by Monday afternoon, I took, you know, my first dose of the steroid, took the antibiotic. Literally, I would say within a 6-hour period, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. It's getting a lot better, you know. And I mean that quite literally. I'm talking about probably a 40 to 50% improvement within that 4 hours after I took that steroid. Those steroids are the bomb, bro. I'll tell you that. Well, the antibiotics are as well, but I think it was the steroids that immediately, you know, helped with that inflammation and stuff like that. But anyway, so yesterday spent a lot of time in the doctor's office. Obviously I was told to rest, which for me, I had to look it up in the dictionary. I was like, rest. Oh, 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 no. That's, I don't want to do that. I have trouble with that. I have a lot of trouble with resting and just kind of laying around on the couch or just watching television, sitting and just sitting idly on my phone, just looking and scrolling. Like, I get so fed up so quickly with that. I'm old school. Now, I like doing it, but I like doing it at a time of day where I've already worked, I've already worked out, I've already done stuff for my family, I've already taken care of my responsibilities, I've already done this, I've already done that. I'm the type of person that I'll reward myself with 20, 30 minutes of kind of sitting and looking on some crazy Instagram videos or just TikTok, whatever it is. But I'm not a person who can just sit all day and evade of every other responsibility and sit and look at my phone. I just can't do it. Or television. I just can't do it. So yesterday was significantly uh, more difficult for me. I felt better, but I was told to rest. And my doctor also wrote me out of work for yesterday, and he wrote me out of work for today as well. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm home on the Austin Ranch, right? Um, that's why I'm coming to you guys from my house instead, because there's no lunch break today. It's a little weird. It's a little weird to be coming to you guys this way as opposed to sitting in my car where I normally am, but hey, here we are. So, a little bit about Kratom talk. I don't want to just go on and on and on and on about my life and not mention Kratom at all. So, I've actually remained very vigilant with my taper and my Kratom doses throughout this process, which I've been pretty impressed with myself because, being sick and off of work and stuff like that, it has been tempting. Excuse me. It has been tempting at times to, take an extra dose or fatten up one of my doses or whatever to where I can, just feel better. When you're going through something like this, you just don't feel the greatest. Let's get real. So that's been a little bit of a challenge, but just trying to keep my mind focused on other stuff, and make sure that I'm not interdosing in between that 4 or 5 hours that I'm taking in between my dose. So as of last night, I'm down to 19 grams. So I've broken under 20 grams at this point. As you know, about a month and a half ago, I was up to probably 35, 40, sometimes 45 probably grams per day, which I was not happy with that. That was let that plane pass. But anyway, I was not happy with taking that high of an amount. I just feel like that's a very unhealthy amount for anyone, right? And so I resolved to get that dose down pretty significantly to a more comfortable level, um, more manageable level. And right now I'm at 19 grams. 2 of those grams I took overnight. I woke up at maybe 12:30, 1 in the morning, took a gram, which is 2 capsules. When I woke up again around 4 o'clock, something like that, took another 2 capsules, and that was plenty enough to get me through the night where I didn't really, wake up a lot and withdrawals or anything like that. So I think that makes over a week now that I've been under the 21 gram mark. So something that's really important and something that I talk about some on here, but that I should talk a little bit more about. A lot of people start trying to do some sort of taper, or they make some adjustment in their dose, and they do it for a day or two, and there's, oh, this is terrible, it's just not working, I feel like shit, and blah, blah, blah. But you have to give your body time to self-regulate the new dose, okay? Think about the amount of time and the doses that it has taken for you to get your body. It's been a sequential process. You take this much one day, or you take this much on Monday, your body does this. Take the same amount on Tuesday, take more on Wednesday, you take that same amount again on Thursday, then you take more on Friday, and you just keep doing this and keep sequentially stacking your doses. And what happens with that is your tolerance gets higher and higher and higher, okay? So then when you go to start, when you stop the train, right? You stop the forward progress. And you're like, okay, now I need to fix this, and you drop this down a little bit because this is getting out of control. This is getting unhealthy. I'm starting to see, negative physical side effects, negative mental, emotional. I'm starting to get irritable with everyone because you will get there if you start getting up to those really higher amounts. So then you stop the train and then you start trying to reverse it, right? What people don't realize is it's taking you, you know, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, for some of us a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Some people have been using longer than that. It's taking you that long to get to the amount that you're currently at. When you go to reverse that, it's not one of those things where, oh, I'm taking 50 grams on, Sunday night, wake up on Monday, and I try to immediately, or let's say I'm drinking 2 MITs per day, and then that's Sunday night, wake up on Monday, and immediately I'm trying to take 15 grams of powder, and then I'm expecting not to be uncomfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable. It's going, just like it's taking you time to build to that tolerance, it is also going to take your body time to self-regulate and self-adjust to the new amounts that you're giving it. And I think that sometimes people don't have the patience, and they'll go, they'll have a couple of rough days and they're just like, damn, this is too hard, I can't do this. When in actuality, if you just give it another 2 days, 3 days, do the best you can to kind of suffer through it and put yourself through it. If you could do that, you would see that your body would start to acclimate. It would start to adjust to the new amounts. One of the most amazing things about not only human life, but just life in general, is the ability to adapt. The ability to adapt to your surroundings, the ability to adapt to new situations, to a new environment, to new doses of something like Kratom. Your body will absolutely, eventually, self-regulate, and then, that time frame may be different for different people. It may be quicker for me, a little longer for you, maybe a little quicker for you and longer for me. A lot of that just depends on age, depends on your sex. And I don't mean how much sex you have. I mean, what, your man, woman, what, I'm not even going to talk about all the other genders, because there's only two. Anyway, I won't go into that. But anyway, that's a whole different shut up, dude. I don't want to get in. That's something I do not want to get into. Shut up. Do not say what's going through your mind right now. Don't do it. Don't do it, dude. Don't do it. You will absolutely get attacked on YouTube if you start talking about that stuff. Okay. But anyway, one of the human's greatest abilities is to adapt. Okay, so what people find is if you're a little more patient, and if you give it an extra few days, extra 2 days, extra 3 days, extra 4 days, you will eventually get to a point where your body will adapt to that new amount. It will self-regulate itself. And then you'll be on the 4th day, 5th day, whatever it is, you'll be like, damn, okay, this 15 grams now is starting to feel like kind of like my new norm, whereas your first day off of the MIT extracts and on the 15 grams was quite hellish, right? So it's all about the body's ability to adapt, the mind's ability to adapt, and that's and to self-regulate. And that's one of the things that I kind of want to put out there into the ethosphere for you guys today, because I've had a couple of people, make comments that I read where they were saying they tried this or they tried that and it just was too tough and it was horrible and this and that. But one thing I want to say to those people is, how long did you do it for? How long did you stick with it? Because this shit doesn't happen at the snap of a finger. It doesn't happen at the flip of a light switch. It doesn't happen with the closing of one door. You have to go close this door and then go open this door and then close that one and then go walk through that door over there and then go through that door, meaning you have to put consecutive days together of that new dose, of that new amount, to then arrive at a point where your body has now self-adjusted. and self-regulated to the new amounts, okay? And in the meantime, there are things that you can do to help yourself kind of feel better in the long run. Or not in the long run, but in the long run too, but in the short run, there are things that you can kind of do to help, exercise, vigorous exercise, taking really, really cold showers to shiver out any anxiety and angst that you have built up, because your chemicals are just misfiring all over the place, right? Because you've been used to just Kratom all day. And it's like I've used this term before, and I'm sure I haven't made this term up, but I've never really seen it anywhere else. If you're on a Kratom diet, if you're one of those people that you barely even eat food, your food is Kratom. You're just dosing on Kratom all day, and you're getting yourself up to, because there's people out there that do that. You got to think, there's people out there that since I've been doing this channel that I've learned we're doing 60, 70, 80, up to 100 grams of Kratom per day. All right. If you are taking enough, often enough, to get up to 100 grams per day, you ain't got no time to even eat, bro. Think about that for a minute. You barely even have time to eat if you're doing that much, right? Those type of amounts, I mean, you have to be just every hour or so. Instead of eating, you're taking the Kratom, and people don't take Kratom on a full stomach either. Most people take it on an empty stomach so they can get the better effects of it. So what ends up happening is people just literally get on this Kratom diet. Like they're barely even eating food. They're just taking Kratom all the time, right? And so it takes a while to back your body, to stop that train and to start reversing that train. Once you start to reverse it, it's much, much like a train. Have you ever seen a train start, right? Have you ever seen a train go from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds? It don't happen. I mean, I'm sure there's a train out there that does it, but generally, because of all of the cars, all of the weight, the stacked and dragging behind that front car, it does what? It starts slowly, chugga, 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 until eventually it's at full speed. This is not dissimilar from that. When you go to reverse your amounts, it's one of those things where your body doesn't just immediately flip a switch and say, okay, I'm used to the 15 grams now. No, that's not the way it happens. There's the deer. It's a slow sequential. Oh no, that's my wife and the dogs. Hi. You're on my video. Well, you're not on it, but I'm talking to you while the video's happening. I thought it was the deer because I saw 2 deer run out of our bamboo a few minutes ago. Yeah. And then I saw you're walking the dog. It's Maya and Oreo. Okay. She said it's Maya and Oreo. That's 2 sister deers. But anyway, that kind of got me off track. But anyway, I just want to put that out there. I'm about to cut this video off. I'm not going to make it like an extremely long one, but when I don't come on for a couple of days, people get concerned. Hey, bro, you good? Everything all right? I do appreciate that. I had a lot of people, reach out and say, hey, hope Baby River's mouth is okay, because I told the story about how he tipped over at daycare and smashed his face on a shelf that was nearby. And so anyway, he's doing much better. All the swelling has gone down. He's almost at a point where it looks like it never even happened. He's a very good healer. He heals very well, and we're blessed for that. So thank you guys for asking about that, by the way. I'm doing a lot better. My improvement just since yesterday alone has been, I would say, probably 50% improvement. And I know that will continue to trend in the right direction as well. My wife keeps coming and looking at me. I'm not used to having someone looking at me while I'm recording. Usually I'm in my car by myself, just chilling, just talking, just getting my thoughts out there. And I've seen her 6 times since I started this video. She keeps peeking around through the window. And I've seen her do that 2 or 3 times. You're messing up my flow here, woman. Jeez. Anyway, she knows I do the channel, so it's not like it's a big deal. But I mean, she knows what I'm doing, but she's just being a nosy wifesis, I guess. But anyway, yeah, I'm about, so hopefully that encourages someone out there. You will adapt to it. If you're trying to taper, if you're trying to come off altogether, you will adapt to the new amounts. You have to be patient. You have to give yourself time to do it. Okay, it's not a light switch, you know, and unfortunately, it's not something that you can just turn on and off like a light. So just be aware of that. Keep pushing through. And next video, I will talk a little bit, about one comment that I got. A lot of people, if I get a comment that I consider somewhat controversial on here, I like to address it. A lot of people don't like me to address it. They think I'm feeding the trolls. They think I'm wasting time talking about stuff that doesn't need to be talked about. But I'm here to tell you, it's my channel. This channel is pushing up towards 800 subscribers at this point. Obviously, people like it for some reason. Obviously, people are getting support from it. Obviously, people are getting value from the platform. Okay, so therefore, I want to keep doing it. And when it's my channel, there sometimes are things that are said that I know other people are able to see in the comments. And there's things that I want to set straight and make sure that people know about this channel, okay? Because I think it's very, very important to make that distinction. The fact that I'm not a channel who is on here encouraging everyone to get off of Kratom. If that's the best thing for you, I support you 100% in doing it. You have gone through the trials, the tribulations, the negative consequences. You are the one that have gone through the thought processes, the prayers, the contemplation that has caused you to say, you know what, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. It just seems to only snowball negativity in my life. Therefore, I just want to quit altogether. If you're that person, I completely support you, right? And the truth of the matter is, whether you label us an addict or not, does it matter at the end of the day? Absolutely, it matters, whether you're an addict or not. But there's a hard truth behind addiction, whether you're an addict or whether you're not an addict. And even if you are an addict, there are people out there that are not ready to just say, okay, yep, I want to quit. I want to completely quit. I want to completely come off of it. And far more importantly, I want to point out that if that is something that is in your heart of hearts that you want to do, you want to completely quit, you want to be completely abstinent, then Just a Guy on My Lunch Break is not the one to help you get that way and remain that way. So let me say this. This channel is a good resource to help you get that way, okay? I am not trying, at least at this point, to be a resource to help people stay that way, okay? I am not an NA channel. I am not an AA channel. Is it because I don't believe in those? No, I believe that the support is real. I think a lot of people really need that support. If you are a true addict, I think, and you want to be completely abstinent of everything, I think you're going to need that kind of support. But let's be real. There are millions and millions and millions of addicts across the world that have no interest, zero interest whatsoever in NA, AA, or becoming completely abstinent. And with that said, there's one particular comment that I want to point out. I want to talk about it. And this person has pushed on me a little bit too much. And I'm the type of person, I'm a very open, warm, welcoming person. And I effed around and gave this person my phone number a while back. Now, I've not talked to them. They've not texted me in quite a long time. And I'm thankful for that. And I think they kind of got the sense of, okay, he's tired of hearing from me. But I made the mistake of giving this person my phone number, and after about 3 days, I already regretted having done that, because this first person was very pushy and telling me what I needed to do. They didn't care if my headspace was where it needed to be able to be where they were at. They just, became inevitably pushy. And it's one of those things where I didn't hear from this person for a long time. I was good with that. I'm the type of person that my channel is a resource, so I try not to block people from my channel unless they're just, I've done it once or twice in the very beginning, and that was because people were just being downright just ignorant, hateful trolls. And I knew immediately that person does not belong here. That is not the type of mindset that I want to cultivate on this channel, right? And so I've done that a couple of times, but in general, I try not to, because even people, we're all human. And even myself, we all say stupid things sometimes. We all say thoughtless things at times, right? We've all done it. I've been there. You've been there. We've all been there. And with that, I try to give people a little grace. I try to give people the grace that I would like for other people to give me if I speak out of turn, And so I try not to, block people and stuff like that. But I had this person that I'm talking about, after not hearing from them a while, what do you know? They show back up on my channel a couple of days ago and are saying absolute rubbish. Stuff that I just absolutely don't agree with. And it's time for a good gaslighting, because I need to teach people something. I need to teach people the correct way to deal with not only this idiocy, but the correct way to speak to other people and support other people. Because, I liken certain players of 100% abstinence and NA and AA, this whole, a lot of times you can, how there's Holy Roller Christian, one of those people that go so hard in the paint about your salvation and that you need to believe in Jesus Christ and this and that and the other, that they actually end up having the opposite effect of what, instead of drawing people to Christ, they're actually making people go, damn, bro, it's gonna make me be like you. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I ain't going nowhere near a church. I ain't praying to shit if it's gonna make me be a pushy SOB like you. and there's people, let's get real, there's people out there that are like that. And listen, I'm not throwing off on Christianity. I think it's a wonderful faith, and I would say if any faith in the entire world fits close to what my actual belief system is, it's got to be Christianity. It's what I grew up on. My father was a Baptist minister when I was a kid. I grew up in church. Okay, but I also am one of those people that believe you can't push your belief system and the way you go about life. You have to be infinitely careful not to push that onto other people. And I think that's counterproductive, and I think it has the opposite effect of what you're actually intending to happen. Okay, and that's what this conversation with this individual is about. I'm not going to have it now because I want to be able to print out his comment. I want to be able to do a little bit of research, because he made this comment recently. When you run a YouTube channel, you figure out these little tricks. You have the ability to, if I see a comment that you made, right, I can click on your profile, on your little thumbnail, and it'll take me to your page. And the first thing that it shows me is every comment that you have made on my channel. If you don't know a lot about running a YouTube channel, you may not know that this even exists, but I've had thousands and thousands and thousands of comments on my channel. All right, so if there wasn't this little feature where I could click on the person's thumbnail and then it shows me every single comment they made on my channel right there in one fell swoop, I can see it all. Right, the person made this comment that really